A passion of mine that I have rediscovered during these quarantine times is gaming. Um, and yeah, I mean, I could get to the drums more often. On that note, yes, you may notice I'm not playing drums. This isn't a drum video on my drum channel. But I'm really just trying to minimize my risk. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get my wife sick. I don't want to get other people sick. It's just how it is. I am perfectly willing to limit activities, as many as I can anyway. It just because, and yeah, of course, I'm a weenie. Okay, sure, I'm a weenie, but I don't think there's anything weenie about wanting to stay safe. So I will stay here and talk about my other passion, gaming, more specifically, Cyberpunk 2077 and wherever else this video goes. Who knows? I'm operating at 75% capacity at the moment because of some um so we'll try to have some fun here too as well, but I've been gaming for a long time. The very first console I played, well, I was born in 1990, so I'm not as old as some of you Atari Gen Xers or in television Gen Xers or whatever the hell you had, ColecoVision. Uh, I had NES, and then it went to SNES, and then it went to PS1. I skipped over to 64 for the PS1, and then PS2, and so on and so forth. And I'm pretty firmly entrenched in PC gaming now. I have a very lovely gaming PC. I've been playing a lot of Steam, a lot of RuneScape, old school RuneScape. That should tell you that I have patience, by the way, which is something I've been trying to work on in real life. But I play a lot of old school RuneScape, just sitting there grinding while I'm watching, Futurama or Simpsons or YouTube or something. And, I'm not that hard to impress. I don't need flashy graphics. I like casual games, but I like intense games too, to a point. And I'm a big sucker for all the open world games. I'm a sucker for Fallout. I think the first Fallout I played was Fallout 3, Fallout 4, GTA, of course. I don't really play that much anymore. Red Dead Redemption, and Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077, I was a fan of. And you may notice that I said was, because despite all the hype, despite how revolutionary and thrilling and gripping this game was supposed to be, and I've put 54 hours into this game. This isn't just some like 2 hour review. This isn't just some angsty teen on the Steam reviews looking for a little clout. I don't give a fuck about clout anymore. I'm 30 years old, and this is just something I'm doing for fun. I'm not. This isn't meant to be a review per se of Cyberpunk 2077. More, I want this to be sort of like a cathartic release of my frustration toward the gaming industry as a whole and gamers. Because Cyberpunk 2077, I think, is indicative of what is the norm now. And this is what is going to happen with these big AAA titles. That you're going to keep getting broken, unplayable sometimes for last-gen consolers. Sorry, guys. Pieces of shit. Not to say that my experience has been that way. For those 54 hours, largely I was having a good time, but I found myself approaching that act where you can't go and redo or do any of the other side missions, and I still had like 30 or 40 things that I could take care of before I move on. And I just looked at it in my journal and went, I don't think I'll do that today. And I haven't played Cyberpunk since. By the way, if you want to add me on Steam or old school RuneScape or any of that kind of stuff, just ask in the comments. I'll provide you my username, and then other people can go from there. I'm already bored with it, and the extent of my hype, I should say, for this game was having it on my Steam wish list since like 2018 at some point, I think. I was like, oh, cool, it's going to be another big open world game. I'm a sucker for open world RPGs, so why not? Horizon Zero Dawn, that's another one, another great one. Sucker for them. And I was not as much of a hype sucker as some of these people I saw buying merchandise for a game they haven't even played yet. Like, they had the hat, they had the shirt. I saw some guy sitting in his bedroom and he had a big-ass Cyberpunk poster and he had Cyberpunk merchandise all around him. And I'm like, okay, it's one thing to be stupid enough and go review bomb a video game that you haven't even played, that hasn't even come out yet. But to coat yourself in merchandise and become a shill for a game that you haven't even played is just like utter mind-blowing consumerist stupidity. And yeah, so that's that about Cyberpunk. And to me, I'm just reminded of No Man's Sky all over again. No Man's Sky, I was having those problems on console. I was really hyped up for No Man's Sky, and then I got it, played it for like 30 hours, and like, wow. 50 crashes later, and about a half dozen disappointments later that were cured with a little bit of weed. I just tossed it. I actually physically snapped the fucking disc in half. They already have my money. They already had my money. I was that pissed off. I like to keep myself a little bit more calm and almost zen-like these days, but oh, I was so livid, and I'm like, this is never going to happen again. And there I was, pre-ordering Cyberpunk 2077. So, what am I saying with all of this ramble-blamble shit? We as gamers, or people who like to play games, and I use the term gamer with the knowledge that there are a lot of really shitty gamers out there. I just play a lot of games, so by that token, or whatever the word I'm trying to think of, I'm a gamer. Stop hyping games. Stop pre-ordering games. I don't care what they're offering you. Okay, we all want this kind of shit to stop, right? We all want to stop getting half-finished games. Especially half-finished games that they expect the community to just happily patch for them with mods and whatnot. That's more of a Bethesda thing, but I don't know. Maybe that's what Cyberpunk did here, because some of you gamers out there were sending them goddamn death threats and telling them to hurry up, hurry up. Well, if they took some more time, maybe they would have given you, especially you last-gen gamers, would have given you a better product. Everybody is to blame. Everybody. This is not me being a centrist. This is not me taking the middle road. If you really want to find like the top boss Goomba boogeyman for this whole thing at the very top, it's capitalism. Through and through, it's fucking capitalism, and that is what has brought the gaming industry to the pathetic state that I think it is in today. And it's not just console stuff, and it's not just game developers. I don't know how Nvidia bungled, like it not that I'm complaining, because I got a 3080, I got my hands on one, but it's just, even with PC gaming. But you know what? Some of the most stable and the most fun, the most customer support riddled, and I mean people who will answer you just like that, a lot of those games are from indie developers on Steam. I've been playing a game called Hades for a while now, and I'm usually not into games like that, like the roguelike games or roguelite games, but they have like a really dedicated community, and it's Noita is another one, and what's the other one? Littlewood, Stardew Valley. You know, some games, so these games from these smaller developers, they don't seem to have a lot of these problems. You know, it's all the hype, this big ball of hype that gets created that puts pressure on the developers, and that puts crunch on the people making the games, that makes their lives worse. But then you, the consumer, you get to enjoy the game while they convalesce and count their money. So I think what we can do, since, there's no fighting, there's no mounting a real fight against capitalism, despite what some people may think. I'm not saying we should just fall in with it. I'm saying we should find systems that work for everybody. This isn't a political video. systems that work for everybody while still living under it. Just don't hype games anymore. When a company says they're going to come out with GTA 7 or GTA 8 or whatever, just be like, okay, cool. Oh, and if you pre-order, whatever they offer you for the pre-order, just don't do it. Don't pre-order the game. Don't overhype the game. Don't make the game to be out more than you know what it is, because you don't know what it is. You haven't played it. You don't know if they're going to give you a game that they're just going to expect the community to pick up the slack and patch for them, or give you a game that is full of stuff that they promised and it's like, oh well, slipped our minds, or oh we just, you know, with the time that we had. And stop doing I really want to think that the people who are sending the death threats to CD Projekt Red and all that, I like to think that they're a very, very tiny minority in the whole of gamers. Don't be them. Do not be them, okay? Let these people make their fucking video games without you hounding them. Unless you're an investor, and then of course you get the right to hound them because you're trying to, you know, hoard wealth. So yeah, by all means, like you know, chastise away. But you, the gamer, me, the gamer, the common gamer, just stop. Just you know, I don't give a fuck about civility in politics anymore. But civility in the gaming community, maybe that could do some good. Because it seems like everybody complains about the broken games they get time and time again, but nothing ever changes. It's the same thing. It's just like with mass shootings. It's the same. It's just a cycle. We have the thoughts and prayers and the talk of action, and then nothing happens. It's like in the gaming community. We get a broken, shitty game, and we get refunds, and then they fix it after 5 or 6 months, and then we forget about it, and then we get another broken piece of shit, and the cycle starts all over again. It's not just on the corporations, and it's not just on CD Projekt Red and the CEOs and the big. It's on. It's incumbent upon us as well to get better games and to get more ethical practices out of these people. And I haven't even gotten into microtransactions, but I won't. I will end the video there for now, with the hope that you are all staying safe, and with the hope that you are all well and will continue to be well. Have a good day.